I'm about a quarter-mile of the way into the Boot Canyon Trail. Completely quiet out here. You can only hear the occasional bird or occasional stick break. That's about it, man. It's really calm, serene. This is exactly what I wanted. So this trail itself is about 3 miles, but I don't know if I need to take the whole thing or not, because as soon as I hit the trailhead for South Rim, that's where I'm going to go. Should have a really good view of the desert from there. So anyway, still rolling. Real nice view there, looking south towards Mexico. Quite a ways down, boy, it drops down to 7,000 feet over there. Yeah, the clouds are definitely clearing. Most of this was cloudy a while ago, so should have a really good view once I get around to the South Rim. I'm about a mile into the Boot Canyon Trail. Still going through Boot Canyon. Really just going through a lot of trees and stuff like that. Really nothing too impressive. I mean, it is really quiet, really calm out here. That's nice. Heard some little critters all around me as I pass them. Little lizards and birds and rabbits, stuff like that. No big game yet. There's supposed to be 24 mountain lions out here, adults, and then 12 to 18 adult bears. So chances of seeing anything like that out here are very slim, but it does happen. But nothing yet. Still heading down here and sync up with the South Rim Trail. Alright, so I've come to a junction. Looks like Juniper Canyon Trail is this direction. Yep, and there is the South Rim Trail this way. So I want to keep heading this way on the Colima Trail. Yeah, they've done a really good job of marking the trails out here. Signs and stuff like that. It's awesome. Extremely helpful. I did the best I could to try to memorize a lot of the trails and stuff before I came out here, just in case there weren't a lot of signs, but luckily they've got that covered. Some nice colors through here. You can tell when it rains a lot, there's quite a few waterfalls and stuff like that throughout here, but it's pretty dry right now. And got about a mile and a half until I get to the South Rim Trail. It's taking me a little break here at this little watering hole. I know there's a lot of little springs out here. I don't think this is one of them. I think this is just some water that's collected over time. Alright, so now I am on the South Rim Trail. After a couple of miles I should hit a ridge that will give me fantastic views of the rest of the park. I am now on the South Rim Trail, so here in a mile or two I should have an amazing view of the southern portions of Big Bend National Park, you know, Chihuahuan Desert, and views all the way to Mexico. And so to see how much the cloud cover is, it was pretty thick earlier. Looks like it was clearing out some, so we'll see when we get there. So in all totality, I've been hiking for about 10.5 miles. I'm just about to the south rim of the Chisos Basin. Getting pretty close. That's where I'll take my next extended break. Not too much out here. It's pretty barren. I've passed 2 or 3 people, but not a lot of people out here. I passed a lot more people coming down from the top of Emory Peak. Alright, so 11 miles later, looks like I am coming to the south rim. Yep. Wow, that was worth it.
Yeah.
See the rest of the Big Bend National Park. You can see all the way into Mexico. Beautiful view. See, it looks like there's a pretty good portion of this trail that just kind of follows along the rim here. Man, it is beautiful. That is thousands of feet down. Amazing views. Still on the South Rim Trail, just checking out the southern portion of the park from about 7,000 feet up. The clouds have receded back to Mexico, it looks like. They were all the way up to here earlier. You can see from Emory Peak. But you can see well past the Rio Grande now. Well, I think I'll sit here and take a break for a little bit before I make the 8 to 10 mile hike back. This was definitely worth it. It's a long way down. Alright, so took me a small break, had a snack. It's 1:30, so I need to start heading back. I've got about a 8 to 10 mile hike ahead of me. Yeah, beautiful view here at the South Rim. So I'm hoping for the most part that the hike will be downhill when I come off of the rim here. And I will take South Rim to Laguna Meadows and then all the way back to the Chisos Basin Visitor Center. Kind of get an idea of what I'm on top of, similar to what you see further down along the rim. Just checking out another portion of the South Rim here. There's a couple more bends like this in the trail before it starts heading back. Alright, so it looks like this is the last portion of the South Rim Trail that's exposed to the cliff, so just getting a little more footage before I take off here. You can see Santa Elena Canyon way over there. I'm hoping to make it there before dark. We'll see. If not, I'll have to do it tomorrow. So I've got quite the hike back. I am on my way back now though. You can see Emory Peak in front of me. That's the one I climbed a couple of hours ago. So this trail that I take, the Laguna Meadows Trail, should pass the base of it. Have some pretty good views from the southern side of it. That's been a really beautiful hike. I was really wondering for a while if I should have headed the extra mileage to check out the South Rim, but once I saw it, I was glad I did. Alright, so Laguna Meadows Trail is just over a mile up here, so I'll stay on the South Rim Trail for just a little bit. And I'll jump on over to Laguna Meadows and that'll take me on home. Still on the South Rim Trail. I left the cliffs about 20 minutes ago. It's been about a mile. As you can see now, the trail I took down there, that's the South Rim Trail down there that I took to get to the actual cliffs. It follows up in there and then makes the climb. I'm just a little higher now. So a little bit more around this bend, I should see Emory Peak right in front of me, and that's where it'll link up with Laguna Meadows Trail. So way off there, that last big peak that you can see, that is Lost Mine Peak. I was actually considering climbing that one, then I saw what it took to get to it, and it's bushwhacking, and bushwhacking through this is insane. So they say maybe 10 people a year climb that thing. So it's the second highest peak out here, right behind Emory Peak. Maybe something that I consider in the future, but not interested in it this trip. So coming around the bend, and there is Emory Peak. I'm coming up on the other side of it now. And it's been about 30 minutes since I left the cliffs. Descending pretty rapidly. And for the most part, this is downhill. There are a few spots where you have to go up a little bit, but a little bit rocky in some places too, so it looks like it'll flatten out when it gets over there by Emory Peak. There's a real good view of the southern side of Emory Peak. It's hard to believe I was up on top of that thing just about 3 hours ago. And those cliffs look a lot higher from down here than they do up there. I guess that's about 2,000 feet up from here. It's pretty high up. Looks like there was a landslide too. Hope there isn't another one while I walk by. Big mountain. So I just finished up the South Rim Trail, did the entire thing, and now I am going to take the Laguna Meadows Trail. So I estimate I've got about 5 to 6 miles left until I get back to Chisos Basin, where I parked at. Yeah, I put in, it's like about 14 miles so far. I feel great. It doesn't feel like I've gone 14 miles, I can tell you that, including climbing a big mountain and going over several more smaller mountains. But all about the conditioning, man. Keep climbing those mountains in the Wichita Mountains, and then also doing the incline walk at the gym. It helps. So there's what I came down from a short time ago. You don't realize how high up you are until you get up there and you actually see, man. It's pretty amazing. I've been traveling on the Laguna Meadows Trail for about half a mile. Come down a long way. Still got a ways to go. Not in any real hurry though. And just over a mile on the Laguna Meadows Trail. I'm on the southwest side of Emory Peak. Now you can see up there where I was at. Man, it's way up there. So still got 3 or 4 miles left until this hike's over with. I'll tell you what, man, you couldn't ask for better weather today. Feels like it's about in the 70s, maybe high 60s, but very little breeze. I felt about a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind on the south rim, but it really wasn't that bad. but this is great. Yeah, there's a good view of that cliff. I've been on this Laguna Meadows Trail for a couple of miles now. I'm right at 2 miles. Emory Peak in front of me. I've dropped down probably about 1,500 feet. So not too far. I can see the visitor center and everything, so I've probably got about 45 more minutes of actual descending to do until I get back to my truck. So this one's been really shady, nice and cool. And I've been hiking for, you know, a little over 6.5 hours now. So I'll look at the steps and the mileage and all that once I get to the bottom. There's that cave. You can see it a lot better now. Looks like the cat cave in the Wichitas, except it's about, hell, I don't know, 2,000 feet higher than the one in the Wichitas. There we go. There's Chisos Basin, visitor center and everything. Getting much closer. Feet are starting to ache a little bit. When I step on one of these rocks or something, I can feel it. But not too bad. Just knocking out switchback after switchback here. Heading down the Laguna Meadows Trail still, about 2.5 miles since I started it. Tell you what, man, people that are coming up this trail, maybe to do the reverse route that I did, this is a lot steeper. If you're coming this way, you're going to gain altitude a lot faster than the route that I went. So I think I did it right today. I am pretty far down though. I mean, the mountains are a good 2,000 feet above me now, at least the peaks of them, I mean. Just pushing on. Looks kind of hazy up there towards Emory Peak. So this is volcanic ash. As I was coming down the trail, I could see quite a bit of it coming down, kind of like a landslide. It's pretty cool. I don't know if clouds are starting to roll in or if it's fog starting to roll in or what. Look how big this cactus is, man. There are some pieces that are bigger than a tennis racket. It's a skink. Kind of looks like a snake. It's not. That's awesome. It's like a cross between a snake and a lizard. That's pretty cool. I've never seen one of those before outside of a zoo. Yeah, so I'm still on the Laguna Meadows Trail, descending. It's starting to hurt a little bit. Feet are starting to hurt. I'm getting close to the end, and I can get a brief rest before I drive over to Santa Elena Canyon, which that's not a very long hike at all. At least the part I'm doing isn't. So, feet are starting to bark. I'm surprised it wasn't earlier, but hey, it's all good. I'm getting there. Still coming down. Came from way up in that corner. Alright, so I just came from that way up on the other side of Emory Peak. So I've got less than a mile left until I get back to the visitor center. Which is good, because I am ready to sit down and rest. So this is the trail that I took when I went up. This is the trail I just came off of. So, I'm on the home stretch now. Ready to get me a Gatorade, rest for a minute, and then head on over to Santa Elena Canyon. I've still got plenty of time to check that out before it gets dark. Oh, just over 7 hours, 38,000 steps, and 18 miles later I'm finished. Whew.
Nice.
I'm dying. So I'm finally getting to sit down and rest in my nice soft seats here in my truck. Got me some Gatorade, and now I'm heading off out of the Chisos Basin and over to the western side of the park to Santa Elena Canyon. Not a whole lot of hiking involved there. There is a little bit, but nothing like I just did. 18 miles. I gotta tell you though, man, it really did not feel like 18 miles at all. It was a real enjoyable hike. There was a few sections that were kind of dull, but you know, for the most part, it was really good. And it was definitely worth tacking on the extra mileage to go to the South Rim. So I'm still see these bear and mountain lion signs, man. And you know, I saw some scat here and there, but never saw any of the animals themselves. So it's probably a good thing, I guess. Anyway, heading on out of here. Now, time permitting, I may come back to Chisos Basin tomorrow to do a couple of the smaller trails, but just have to wait and see how I feel. Tell you what, the drive in and out of here is just spectacular. When I came in this morning, there's a deer right next to the road. When I came in this morning, it was extremely foggy, and then that fog lifted right at the last minute, and all the peaks came into view, and it was just, I mean, it was overwhelming. Can't even put into words how beautiful this area is. It's amazing. Can't believe it took me this long to get here. But I'm glad I came. Definitely glad I came, and I can't wait to bring the boys here. This will definitely be one of the spots we hit when we start camping a lot in the next couple of years. Man, it's hard to believe that I was higher than all of these peaks a few hours ago.